Welcome back, troglodytes. Today we have a brand new 2017 Gibson Les Paul Custom in Silverburst finish. Look how nice and new this guitar is. Oh wait, what's that? This thing's from 1983. Look at this. This thing is unaged. This is definitely the cleanest non-aged Silverburst I've ever seen in person. This is the brand new finish. This is how it looked back in the day. All those yellowed and green ones out there, this is how they started. This is definitely one for a collector, or one for somebody who prefers, the straight up Silverburst finish. So yes, this one is indeed from 1983, my favorite year of Gibson, because that's when the Spotlight Special was out. And this has all the cool 80s appointments to it. You've got the crazy flip out winding tuners, which are just kind of cool looking. I like to call them Ninja Star tuners. And you've got the posi lock strap buttons. They're diamond shaped, as you can see here, to help keep your strap on. You have your Tim Shaw pickups, which are the best pickups ever made, in my opinion. I really like them. And they even have the patent applied for stickers there on the pickup rings. So you've got a super clean Silverburst, unaged finish, with all the cool 80s appointments from the best year of Gibson, 1983. I'm in love with this guitar. So condition-wise, it's been played. There are some scratches that will go over here, but really where the value of this one is the unaged finish. The face of the headstock, as you can see, you've got some light swirl mark and string change scratches. Here in the light, you can kind of see some of those light scratches. I'm sure, 98% of what's on this guitar could easily be polished out. But I usually leave polished guitars looking worse than how I started. But once again, you do have the flip out winding tuners. This was basically to make it easier to change strings before, string winders were heavily present. But they just look kind of cool, but they function the same as any other Schallers of the day. Gorgeous clean finish. The only thing changed on this guitar was the nut. And unfortunately, it was kind of an amateur job. There's some very light finish wear. You can see where they took the nut off, it kind of cracked the finish a little bit along the binding here. And it's not too bad, but you are missing a little finish here. And there's some light checking along the binding up here. Then on the other side, there's a little bit more damage. You can see that line there from the nut change, but it's structurally sound. And the only other thing from the nut change operation is up close. You can kind of see these filing lines. I don't believe the nut slot was enlarged at all, but it does look like they kind of filed it down for whatever reason. But that's all that's wrong with this guitar, besides a little bit of scratches. The frets show very minor wear, hardly any at all. Definitely very true to the era of the low flat, but definitely have enough life that you can see what they were like new. Beautiful ebony fretboard. It's in great shape, very clean. Now this guitar has been hiding in Hawaii since brand new. So since there's a lot of salt in the air there, you can see all of the screws are fairly rusted over. It would be very easy to take all the screws off and dump them in some cleaning solution. I hear Coke will just destroy any rust. So you could make this look like new, but I kind of like the rusted hardware because it kind of shows you that it is a vintage guitar that's just very clean. So once you get it in the light here, I'm not sure if it's showing up, you can kind of see where the one of the top pieces was put together here. And it's not overly apparent, but it is there in the right angle, and I'm hoping it's showing up there. We've got some very light playing wear scratches on the top, but it's just so clean. I mean, this would polish up really nicely if you wanted it to. Once again, it's got the Tim Shaw humbuckers, your Schaller bridge, tailpiece, original unaged knobs. The ones from the 70s and 80s, you can tell that they're 70s and 80s parts because compared to modern speed knobs, they have a slightly bolder print to the numbers. So that's one way you can kind of tell if it's like an unaged original one, kind of by the font. Now, the only thing you can't really fix is the kind of rusting to the pole pieces there. So you are going to have to live with that. And there are some light scratches to the covers. And something that you really can't see right now, I don't know if you can see that or not, is there is a little bit of chipped finish underneath the tailpiece here. I'll definitely include some photos. There is a little area of missing finish like right under here. I mean, you can kind of see it when you're looking down, but overall it's not too bad. This side you can see the finish is kind of starting to peel up in that one area. I think it's just because of the stress in that wood area pulling on it. I mean, it's not going to spread. I mean, the finish is solid. Look at this beauty. It's a beautiful Silverburst. I never thought I would ever get to have one quite this clean. If I was definitely still in my collecting days, you know, acquiring for my personal collection, this would definitely be one I would be keeping. Back of the headstock time, serial number is 83263525, which makes this a fairly late 1983, 25th in production. You'll notice that there is no volute on this one. They started doing away with volutes in, I believe it was late 82, so this is a non-voluted one. You've got a tiny little ding here in the corner. It's not too bad. It looks like there is a small spot of wood showing, but the other areas are just fine. I'm not even sure if that's showing up or if the light is just reflecting. There you can kind of see it. No breaks, cracks, or repairs. You can see there's quite a few fingerprints in this area because I've been handling it there, but nothing too bad. The neck, once again, the neck finish isn't all worn off. It's not turned green. I mean, it's the same original silver color that it initially started as. I mean, this is an absolutely beautiful example. All the electronics are original. Once again, you can see the rusted screws that you could clean off if you wanted to, but I wouldn't worry about it. I think it kind of looks cool, showing a little bit of age. And the sides of the guitar are equally as clean. I mean, you're going to find minor little scratches that probably could be polished out here and there. But this is definitely a collector's grade guitar if you can get over the replaced nut. It's a shame whoever did the nut job didn't do it, you know, professionally. But this is a really nice guitar, and it's actually pretty lightweight for the era. Now, since this one hasn't seen a lot of sun in its time, despite being from Hawaii, you're not going to see a lot of glowing under black light. It definitely still is, but the camera is not really catching it as well as I would like. The back glows a little bit better for us. There you can kind of see that line I was talking about, where the pieces were joined together. I mean, it's not super overly apparent. Some examples are a lot worse than others. But this one is definitely a nice clean example. There you can see your serial number a little bit more clearly. No breaks, cracks, or repairs or touch-ups. Maybe we can kind of see the finish damage on the side a little bit better here. There you go. And on this side as well. That definitely makes it easier for you to visualize where there is some light finish checking / damage from the nut. It looks like maybe there was a very light touch-up in that area. You can see where they kind of did a little bit of black. You can definitely feel there is a depth difference there. So if you can get past that nut change, this is probably one of the cleanest Silverbursts that you will see out there. And it's got all the cool 80s stuff too. Once again, you know, if I was still in my collecting days instead of, you know, paying off the house days, this would definitely be one I would be interested in. Because I believe this is going to be the cleanest one on the market. There was a similar one, you know, similar cleanliness and finish wise, but I believe that one sold. This one weighs 9 pounds, 12.8 ounces, which is pretty light for this era. Usually most of these customs will be, you know, the high 10s, low 11s. Now 1983, 1982 is when changes started to happen from the Norlin era. Most of them had maple necks until about 81, 82. This is a mahogany necked one, and once again it does not have a volute. So if you just want an original Silverburst but you don't like the Norlin era flair of the maple neck and the volute, this is definitely a good visitor to the Norlin era guitar because it's all your typical specs. You've got your mahogany neck, once again, maple top, mahogany body. Now, I can't say for sure if this one's been weight relieved. I know it's about this time when they started doing that. Unfortunately, I don't have an X-ray, so I can't tell you for sure. This queen comes in her original case, which is a Generation 3 Gibson chainsaw. As you can see, you've got some very light storage wear and tear, some light scratches, but overall the case is in good shape. You can see, similar to the screws, the latches here are a little bit rusted, but all of them are still functional and present. The only thing you're missing on this one is the lid ribbon, which I'm not even 100% convinced all of these came with lid ribbons when it comes to Gen 3s. But it does still hold itself up, doesn't flop over, the hinges are good. Once those start failing, that's when they go flop. So it is the brown interior. Personally, I think the blue interior looks best with these mint condition Silverbursts, but the brown is definitely also a cool look because it's got that 70s, 80s vibe to it. We'll be demoing today through a Marshall JMP 1C 1-watt tube amplifier. If you think you might be interested in adding this Silverburst Les Paul custom to your collection, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Trogoys, or check out the Reverb and eBay listings. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.